dedicated to each and every one of you who appreciate a great glass of wine. You know what I mean?
It's Monday. Let's raise a glass to the beginning of another week. It's time to unscrew, uncork, or saber a bottle. And let's begin exploring the wine glass. Before I get into the podcast, I wanted to let you know that Apple had a podcast update. This caused an issue with the automatic downloads. If you are not receiving Exploring the Wine Glass in your next up feed, it is because the settings have changed. Please go to Library, then Shows, and click on the Exploring the Wine Glass. If you don't see a check mark in the top right corner next to the three dots, the system does not download automatically. Please click on the down arrow and turn on automatic downloads. This will put a check mark next to the three dots. This will allow you to always know when a new episode drops. Sorry for the inconvenience, and thank you so much for following Exploring the Wine Glass. Today on the podcast, I am sharing 3 short interviews with Paso Robles winemakers. I had the pleasure of attending Esprit du Vin earlier this month. This is a celebration of the wineries of 46 East. The event took place at the beautiful Riboli Event Center, and attendees were able to stroll around the room and taste over 30 wines from all of the 46 East wineries. Each table had gourmet cheese to pair with the wine. It was a great evening, and I hope you enjoy the interviews. Slancha.
Give me the wine. Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Lori Budd, a UC Davis winemaking program, Spanish wine scholar, sommelier service, champagne and Côte d'Aron specialist, and a WSET Level 2 graduate. You can find Exploring the Wine Glass on all the socials, as well as your favorite podcast catchers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to swipe, subscribe, rate, and review. Stay in the know about all things wine by visiting my website, exploringthewineglass.com. I promise I'll never tell you what to drink, but I'll always share what's in my glass.
Banana, daiquiri, sweet Merlot, give me the nappy, you know.
All right, so I'm here now with Rory Longley of Allegretto Vineyards, and we are at the 46 East event of the year, I'm going to say. This is pretty much
This is it.
And so first, tell us about Allegretto itself, where you're actually located on the east side, how people can find you.
We're located right off of Buena Vista Drive, directly across from Cuesta College. It's the easiest way to find us. We're a 20-acre property, 7 acres of grapes. Everything's all estate grown for us. It's an entire experience by itself, just being there. It's a little piece of Tuscany here in Paso Robles by itself.
And when people come to the Allegretto, the resort itself, it is a cultural experience as they walk in. From the minute they walk into the building, it is awe-inspiring. And so tell us about the cultural diversity that's down there.
Yeah, the minute you walk in, it is like its own personal museum. You will find Hindu statues, Buddhist statues. You'll find the Guadalupe, the Star of David. You'll find St. Peter, St. Francis, a little bit of everything. And it's all about tranquility and peace. The owner, Doug Ayers, went through a tragedy, and instead of grieving the way most of us would, he went and experienced all these cultures and how they dealt with loss of life, and then brought it back to Allegretto when he built the property out. So that way, when he comes to work, he's reminded of that healing journey, but he hopes that something helps someone else heal or go through whatever they go through. And that's the entire idea of the whole property.
And when they go to the Allegretto, the vineyards are right behind them, right? So the people who are staying at the hotel, at the resort, can actually walk the vineyards?
Absolutely. They can come walk the vineyards. We have our hillside in the back. We have our front vineyard. We have sheep and alpaca you can come and feed. We do a vineyard tour Friday through Monday at 10 a.m. where we walk you through the vineyards. We talk about farming practices, history of the grapes, the barrels, everything, and then we bring you in and do a full tasting. And you get to really understand the identity of the property and the wine at the same time. You come to Allegretto, there's a spa, so you can get treatment there. There's a restaurant on site, tandem bikes. There's the hillside to hike. So unlimited amount of options for you to be at Allegretto.
And so we are at the Esprit du Vin, which is celebrating the wineries of 46 East. What do you think is so special about, first let's talk about the incredible specialness of Paso, but the east side.
Well, Paso in general, wine's incredible coming out of all areas. Having those 9 AVAs and those 11 subclimates out here, that helps all of us out understanding, knowing that we're going to take the same wine, put them in the same barrel for the same amount of time. It's still going to be completely different depending on which side you're at, what climate you're getting. But being on the east side of Paso, having a little bit less water, it really gets to allow the winemakers to really have their hand in the winemaking process and crafting out all those big, bold, beautiful flavors you find on the east side, where some of the other districts get a little bit more water, so they're smoother. It's not as you're not as hands-on in the winemaking process. Where on the east side, every winemaker's hands-on, 100% trying to get the best flavor possible out of all those wines.
And this event is for Esprit du Vin. It's wine and cheese tonight, and a lot of other food. I see lasagna. I see a lot of other stuff that's going on. So why does Allegretto choose to participate in this event?
Well, we come here because what's better than cheese and wine? It all
true.
goes together. But being a part of the street event and just coming out here and being able to network and meet and visit all the wineries here on the 46 East, but kind of showcase, like I said, those big, bold, beautiful reds and whites that are coming out of the east side of Paso. And if you know Paso Robles in general, you know that Willow Creek west side, that's that award-winning, district over there, and a lot of great wines coming out of there. But having something dedicated to the east side where you really get to experience those wines and know that we're just as good, we're just as beautiful, we're just as big as bold. It's an experience by itself just being here and being around all the other wineries and then getting guests to come in and just be a part of it.
So there is that whole east side, west side thing, which I kind of think over the years it's getting narrower, right? Where the east side is getting their awards and everything, but you're absolutely right. The west side seems to get a bit more acclaim in the news or whatever. What do you think as an east side winery we can do to give this promotion? Is that really what the Esprit du Vin is really about? Is trying to just promote, hey, we're here too?
Yeah, it's us saying we're here too. I think if the east side wants to continue to succeed the way we're doing, we have to focus on giving the experience when we're doing our tastings, educating on the difference between the wines and why they're growing out the way they're grown, and giving the experience of helping people understand the farming practices that we're giving on the east side compared to the west side. That's the biggest thing that we're going to have to do on the side.
And the Allegretto does some seriously great farming. So let's talk about that farming.
Yeah, so we practice biodynamic farming, which is building self-sustainability. So instead of tractors and things like that in the vineyard, or where you have sheep and alpacas, we want our guests to come feed them themselves, and then we rotate them into the vineyard after we harvest, allowing them to fertilize and till that soil naturally. We're using lavender plants as our insecticide. We're using olive trees to help hold that water source. We're barely irrigating out here on the east side because of those olive trees. We make our own estate olive oil coming out of there as well. So our farming practice is just that biodynamic farming. We're essentially looking at what the moon is doing. We're creating our farming practice around that. And that's really allowing us to maximize our fruit and what we're putting out there in our harvest. Off of a little acre, we're getting 450, 500 cases a year because of the way we're pruning and the way we're harvesting and growing those grapes out here on the east side.
And I think biodynamic it's a buzzword right now, but you can see the difference between vineyards that are biodynamic versus those that are not. So explain how you would describe a biodynamic vineyard versus a non-biodynamic vineyard.
Yeah, biodynamic farming, it's completely controversial in the wine industry, as those that believe in it and those that don't. I've been doing wine for 12 years. I would tell you it absolutely changes the flavor profile. If you're looking at that biodynamic calendar, you're looking at those fruit days, and we're harvesting where those grapes are supposed to be at maximum flavor potential, and that's what we're putting in the barrel. And we're getting a max flavor profile on all of our wines. If we're opening up our wines on a fruit day, we're going to taste some better fruit compared to the conventional way. We're really looking at the way we farm with the biodynamic calendar. So on fruit days, that's when we're going to prune, trim, barrel, sample, bottle, harvest the wine, release it to the public. On flower days, that's when we're irrigating our vineyard. And then on root days, we don't touch our vineyard. So we really just stay tried and true to that particular farming practice out there.
Now, I do believe in biodynamics, but I do also think that sometimes it can get a little out of control. Like, do you really pay attention to, I have to stir counterclockwise 13 times or whatever? Is that into that also? Or is it true just the root and flower and fruit days?
We're really looking at the root, the fruit, the flower days. We're looking at the way that the compost that we're using. For our particular vineyard, we use BD 500, so that's a biodynamic 500 compost. We're really putting that out there. That's what's going to help us along with our sheep and alpaca. We're looking at things like that. We're looking at having the winter solstice, summer equinox, things like that kind of guide us through to help with those things. And we just stay true to that calendar as far as how we're going to farm. But other than that, we're not looking at so many other things.
And so where can people find Allegretto?
2700 Buena Vista Drive. We're right across from Cuesta College. We're directly off the 46 East here. You can't miss us. We're the biggest little piece of Italy out here with a big A on the side. And you'll see George, Einstein, and Goldie, the alpacas, right in the front vineyard right now. Come visit them, come visit us, and we'll take care of you guys.
And what about social media-wise?
You'll find us on Instagram at Allegretto Wines. You'll find us on Facebook at Allegretto Wines. And then we have our website, allegrettowines.com. And then we're also attached to Allegretto Vineyard Resort. And you can find us on their social media as well, along with Cello Restaurante, which is our restaurant, and then Allegretto Spa as well.
And so if you had to explain in one sentence this event, the Esprit du Vin event, and why it's so important, what would that statement be?
Putting the east side on the map. I mean, when you think Paso, you're thinking some of the bigger names that are out here in Paso. And then there's a lot of small wineries on this east side that go unnoticed. And this is the event that really puts us on the map and gets locals to come out here and understand that the east side has these wineries that are just as good anywhere else.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we are back, and I am with Jared Lee of Pear Valley. And so tell us, first of all, where is Pear Valley?
So we are located on Union Road, 49 Henry. So Union Road is a loop. We are more or less kind of in the middle of it.
So you were involved in that whole detour thing?
Yeah. So when they put that loop in, I had because I haul fruit. We have a vineyard in San Miguel, and then I haul it to the winery off Union. So I have my normal, approach to doing that, and now I go a different way because that loop is like built to throw fruit off your trailer.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
For a town, not to put anything down, but for a town that is wine focused, that was not focused on traveling with grapes at all.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
So, Pear Valley, do you have a wine that you would say is a specialty wine or a wine that is a flagship wine?
Yeah, so our flagship wine is called Distraction. It's a Bordeaux blend. It was named after our founder, Tom Moss, who has passed. But when he was down running his company in Orange County, he was building what is Pear Valley now. And Kathleen, his wife, was constantly asking, where are you going, what are you doing? And it was his obvious distraction. So that's our flagship wine, Bordeaux blend. We're completely estate, so it is Cab Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Carmenere.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about some grapes that you guys do. I mean, Cab Franc, Carmenere. I mean, Carmenere is not very popular here in Paso.
No, not very popular. Just kind of knew it would fit our profile. I got dealt a hell of a hand when I came on board. There's 24 varieties when I came on board, and now there's 27 varieties. So it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But we go a lot of directions, and we kind of say that we have something for everybody.
Are you typically more blends, or are you doing single varietals and blends?
So largely single varietals, definitely do blends as well. We have our GSM and our Rhone blends, but we kind of found a sweet spot with Italians, and I try very hard. I think very consistently it's 100% varietal. I'm always trying to do something that's very representative, of what that grape is on our land. So things like Allegretto, Avila, Chardonnay, try to do 100% varietally bottled.
Oh man, that is exciting. Those are some not so common varieties that we can get right here in Paso.
Yeah, we're kind of all over the place, but I mean, to be honest, those I think are some of the most well-suited varieties for Paso. Italians, they tend to hold their acid, they have lower pH, there's really no rush to pick, based on numbers. They can deal with, some rain that we might get in the growing season. They're just very well suited. Just planted some Bernays last year, so It's funny because I complain a lot, and then I'm also putting new things in the ground. But
I have so much to do. Wait, let's do it even more.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That is fantastic. So we are here at Esprit du Vin, and this is the celebration of the 46 East wineries. What do you think is the main purpose of this event? Why do we have it? What's so spectacular about it?
yeah, I think that it's a very important event just because there are quite a few of us out on what we're just calling 46 East. We're all kind of doing somewhat different things that are specific to our individual styles, but at the same time, there's a ton that overlaps. And there's a lot, there's a handful of us here, and so I think it's really nice to be able to come to a collective event and just kind of get that overall experience that otherwise Paso's a big region, and you have people in these crazy different microclimates and soil profiles and elevations, but a lot of us in this neck of the woods, we're all sharing a very similar soil profile, and so I think it's kind of a fun event for that reason.
And so I've asked this of everybody. So years ago, there was a very big divide between West versus East, or which side is the better side, or whatever. And I'm proudly to say that I think that divide is narrowing up. But what do you see, not necessarily as a versus, but what do you see as the major difference between the East side versus the West side?
So I think there's a big difference, rightfully so. I don't think it's going to go away. I think there's a reason for it, to be honest. We deal with different winemaking approaches. We deal with different climates. Kind of what I was just saying about elevation, soil profile. pH is a huge issue. Acidity. A lot of people are trying to get their pH up, but I'm trying my damn hardest to get it down. Right? I've got super high potassium in my soils. I'm trying to get rid of that. I'm trying to use rootstocks that are going to benefit me more and more. So, it's very different for, I think, the right reasons. The wines are very different as well, I think. But, good or bad, I think they're both outstanding.
Right.
It's just kind of, hey, find what your cup of tea is.
Right. And that's what I think. I think years ago, there really was a West side versus the East side type concept. And today, I don't think there's so much of that versus concept. But you're absolutely right. There is a definitive difference between what we get on the East side versus what they get on the West side.
Agreed. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah. And, some of my favorite wineries are on the West side. East side as well. They're just different. You can do things over here where I can't do over there, and vice versa. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So I have Viognier in my glass here. So tell me about this, because I am a huge Viognier fan.
So when I used to work in wine shops back in the day, and whenever Conjure would kind of come across my desk, I would always be, kind of smitten. So those are kind of some of the first Viogniers I cut my teeth on. So, and the more and more I drank, kind of the bigger they got. Those wines are just massive now. And so my approach to Viognier was always kind of trying to respect, I think, what the fruit wants to be. And so our Viognier is very terraced, and I get very ripe Viognier on the top, and then, kind of moderate towards the middle and the bottom. So I pick it on the riper side. It's probably in the 25 and a half range. Barrel fermented, full ML, maybe 20% New French. So I'm kind of embracing, the tropical characteristics.
Absolutely.
I love the roundness of it. It's probably our biggest, richest white wine. Trying to hold on to as much natural acidity as possible, but just kind of letting it be, I think, what it wants to be.
It is beautiful. Oh my God!
Yeah. Super
it is
aromatic, really good.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love. That's one of the things I love about Viognier is those aromatics, and it can come in a lot of different profiles once it gets onto your palate. And this is seriously damn good.
Oh, good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So as we wrap up, just let the people know, how can they actually find Pear Valley? Social media? What about, are you requiring appointments? How can they get to you?
So we're open 7 days a week. I know that the approach is reservations are
Preferred?
but not required. We actually have a fairly large indoor and outdoor facility, so regardless of weather, we can usually accommodate. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty laid back. Just come in. I mean, we're encourage you to bring lunch. Yeah, check out the wines.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Special, so very, very special. You are so special.
All right, so I am here with Amy Luera, the hospitality manager of the San-Juliette. Yet another East Side winery, in case you haven't caught on yet. So welcome, Amy. Tell me about the San-Juliette.
For asking to meet with you. Villa San-Juliette, beautiful Tuscan villa. It's a little bit of Italy and Paso. We have an amazing chef who's been with us for 2 years straight from Italy. So not only can you do an amazing tasting, you can also have lunch and enjoy the beautiful scenery of Villa.
And where can we find us?
Here on San Miguel, about 10 minutes from Paso. You can find us on 46 East, or you can go to Delicious San Miguel, also about 10 minutes either way off Paso Robles.
Villa San-Juliette is located on the east side, and this is what we are here to celebrate tonight. So, what do you think is special about the east side, or different?
I think 46 East is very approachable. We have a lot of tasting rooms along the 46 East that you don't need a reservation. You can pop in. There's large tasting rooms that can accommodate larger groups. Like I said, very approachable, easy to drink wines. Again, like our place has food. You can have lunch, or you can just grab a taste at any of the wineries on 46 East.
And what's a little bit of the history of Villa San-Juliette?
So Villa San-Juliette, about 10 years old. We have owners that started American Idol. So we have a little bit of that history there, but very hands-on owners. They were both childhood friends, and we see them from time to time. They do come by the tasting room, and just great to know Ken and Nigel. And also our winemaker, Dion, he's been with us for 10 years. So there's been a tradition there with the winemaking, the styles. So very approachable, easy to drink wines.
If you had to say, and I don't know if you do, but if you had to say you had a flagship wine, or this is what Villa San-Juliette really does, is there a flagship?
We don't necessarily have a flagship. We do have a lot of different varieties that we grow on the property. Tonight, Esprit du Vin, we chose Allegretto Winery, which is not a very well-known wine. So you're tasting.
That is what I am tasting.
Yeah, so it's used a lot of blends. A lot of our wine club members join the wine club because of the Allegretto, because you can't find it in California very much at all. The other wine we did showcase today is our Sauvignon Blanc. It is grown on the estate. It's a 2021 100% Sauvignon Blanc. All of our wines that we do showcase in our tasting room are all estate grown. We don't source any fruit at all. So that's another special thing about Villa San-Juliette.
Is all of your vineyards in San Miguel, or right around the estate itself, or do you have estate properties in other locations?
So Villa San-Juliette, we're a little over 100 acres around the villa. They can see while you're tasting and enjoying lunch. And that is the only grapes that we produce there on the estate. So it makes it special in that way that while you're tasting and your lunch, you can actually see the vines right there in front of you.
It does make for a nice lunch and a nice wine tasting to see there. So what do you think is special? So Paso, we know this east side, west side thing, which I've said before, I think is getting narrower and narrower, which is a good thing. But what do you think is really the difference between the east side versus the west side? Is there a difference to you?
Being in the industry for over 20 years, I've known a lot about west side and east side. I think in each of those regions, there's differences in the same. So I think as a collective group, part of Paso Robles Wine, we're all the same family. It's just what experience is your client going after. They each complement each other. You can go out to a winery and with a big group, go to another winery for just a tasting, a cave tour, maybe ride a bicycle, maybe ride a horse. I think at this point in the game, we're all part of Paso Robles Wine region, and it's not divisiveness anymore.
event, I guess, which is, I mean, it's the beginning of the year, but it is a special event. What do you think is so special about this event? Why it's being put on? And then why does the San-Juliette participate?
Sure, yeah, so this is an event put on by 46 East Wineries. It's such a cool event, like where can you go as part of the community and go taste at 20 different wineries on the same roof, pair with different cheeses. We also have other feeders that came with nice barbecue, and they can taste their food as well. And we're all under one roof, very easy to get to. This event's been going on for, I think almost 20 years. It's close to town, makes it approachable. The price point is amazing for, I believe it was $75 a ticket. You can taste all these different wineries. You can stay downtown in a nice hotel. Like, what a great night out. Like, I love it, and I'm working, and I still love it.
That is awesome. So, before I let you go, can you just let people know how to find the San-Juliette, where you're located, the address, and then on social media?
Sure, yeah. So Villa San-Juliette, we're across Canyon Road, San Miguel. You can go to Villa San-Juliette and find us online. You can see our menu online. You can do a reservation as well. I'm a hospitality manager there. I do welcome walk-ins. So we will accommodate you. If our group's larger than 8, I'd love to host you. Just give us a call so we can make sure we have your table set up for you. Yeah, coming out, lunch and tasting, we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Even in the Bible, give me the red wine, give me the white wine.
This has been another episode of Exploring the Wine Glass. Thanks for listening. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like me to discuss, please reach out on social media. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Exploring the Wine Glass. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt-Budd. Of course, you can always email me at exploringthewineglass@gmail.com and sign up for my newsletter at exploringthewineglass.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find me more easily. And most importantly, tell your wine-loving friends, because if you like the podcast, they will too. Podcast music is Wine by Kevins. Until next week, sláinte.
I want a nice glass right now.